Okay, round one. Well, I guess if I draw my mana like this every game, then the Maru is going to be amazing. This hand is just great. Well, I will need to draw some lands for these, but holy moly, my card quality is great. Hopefully I don't end up screwed out of double white by this mountain. That would be the punishment for it. Okay, that seems pretty great for me as well. Well, never mind, no more mana issues to come. This deals 5 damage even, yeah. Okay, get that out of here. Clean 2 for 1 already, and then unbeatable 4 drop, unbeatable 5 drop. Feels good, man. Though maybe I should just run out this or something. And my opponent hasn't played any removal spells yet and has this much open mana. This could just die to like -2/-2. But casting this into Eviscerate is also a little bit wasteful. Okay, I guess because I have Lyra, I can just cast this and make them have a removal spell, and if they do, I just have a Lyra that sticks around. Worst case, I get to bring everything back with the 7 mana sorcery that returns all my legendary permanents, right? Don't have to be too stingy with my win the game cards. Man, I'm pretty certain these 2 leagues that I've played now are setting pretty unrealistic expectations for me for this format. Because these decks have been absolute bonkers. Thoughts on Baneslayer Angel? Let me know if you think that's a good card. They also didn't kill my 4/5 menace, so I have little hope for them to kill my, well, any of these now. Okay, so this one comes back to my hand if I cast more legends, so definitely discarding that. And I guess Unicorn it is, because the Trevor might actually be relevant here, and it attacks for more. And I'm already going back up to 20 right away. Yeah, this is not very fair. I'm aware of that. And we win. That was to be expected. So black, white, medium beats with auras. I'd like having as much removal as possible in my deck against the aura. Can theoretically board this in, though I didn't really see anything else from my opponent after they played the dub. Against the usual black-white deck I would bring this in, but black-white actually seems to be reasonably aggressive in this format, or at least the way that my opponent has built it, so I think I don't want to spend too much time on a card draw spell that also deals damage to me. Rather keep up with the board, and then if I run my opponent out of threats, then the top deck battles are going to be in my favor regardless. Might even want to be cutting 1 extra medium card for another 2 drops, so just so I can keep up on the board starting like right away. I think this looks fine for now. I could see cutting like a Call the Cavalry or something for another 2 drop. Yeah, I think with this deck I'm keeping it, but it's a little awkward that I don't have double black available yet, so there's even draws that I can have where I need another land and I'm already really flooded, so. But yeah, my card quality is high enough that being slightly flooded while keeping up with my opponent so that I don't get ran over is like a decent spot to be in. Yeah, there we go. Those were some good draws. Rip Mesa Unicorn. Rip, rip, rip. Opponent's still not casting anything. They mulligan to 6, which is alright with me. Yo, Dofx, how's it going? Guess I need to change my type though, and I'll change the deck list after this match as well. Icy Manipulator, that's not fair. That's a great card. Also can mana screw me a little bit if they hit the right land at each point. Make it difficult for me to cast this Fight with Fire, for example. Though I assume my opponent just needs to stall out my attackers, that's more important to them. Okay. I think I'll just cast this before my opponent gets any ideas. If they're ghosting me or something, they might tap down my land if I just go into combat. Obviously, without that, they would never do that and always tap down my trapper. No! It even exiles. No! I can't bring it back from the graveyard. I mean, I have more unbeatable legendaries in my hand to work with, but that was pretty unfortunate. I played the Baneslayer and they removed it. Yeah, my deck is all bombs, basically. No! Ah, god damn it. I think I'll actually have to discard a land, even though it stalls me from casting this. I don't think I want to give up 2 spells here. Probably this Shivan Fire and hold on to this as well. Because, well, it has the downside of being a sorcery, but... Oh, that sucks, but at least I hope your store's going well, so that's the most important. Yeah, I kind of warmed up to Modern as well. Not really playing it at the moment, but it's not that bad of a format at the moment. Tap target creature. No, okay. It's interesting that this is not a May. I mean, it's nice for me that you don't have to click yes every time, but usually these types of effects are a May. Well, I guess they're replacing like May tapped with your opponent's control, because they say like tapping your opponent's stuff is never a downside, which is not quite true, but usually true. Wow. 4/6 Vigilance Flying Lifelink. So they kind of built their own Lyra here. Though I can grow my... If I find a second red source, it's just dead right away. And I can grow my Kazarov to deal with it in the long run. I think I'll even attack into it with this. Because if they block, I get to fire it down, and then they have basically nothing going on. I have very little going on as well, but sure. 2 damage to target creature. Yeah, I think because of the draw spell that I have in my deck, I just keep running out lands. Yeah, I feel like I want both of them to go away, but yeah, I get it. So if they want to successfully attack, they have to tap down my blocker. And this Judge Sentinel is not even that great on the board, right? I just shoot it, they regenerate it, I shoot it again. Or they just let it die, sure. Then I don't even have to use the second activation. This Icy Manipulator is still doing work here. But I don't completely hate my spot. Okay, now they're willing to trade. Sure, then I love my spot. Wait, no! Oh my god, Okay, that's number 2 of not reading the card correctly today, because I forgot that it has first strike. I think my opponent also forgot that it has first strike last turn. That was... okay. Like this one giving first strike was very, like I wanted to do 3 damage to it and then shoot it down afterwards or fight with fire, but that's not how any of this works. That was terrible. I mean, my 3-2 wasn't really doing much, but that was just completely terrible. So I need another red source or any of my black removals. Yeah, definitely just boggling me up here. And everything would be fine without this icy manipulator. With it, I'm in a pretty bad spot. Because this Kazarov growing here doesn't really do much for me. It grows out of proportions, but doesn't deal with the skin witch either. Man, that was bad. I gave my opponent like 4 extra life and threw my tapper away. Still looking for that second red source, though I only have 1 in the deck and 1 way of searching it up. There's also a bunch of black removal spells though that I can work with to get this off of the board. Not a lot of time left for me to do that though. 4-0, wow. That was quick. Oh, come on. Yeah, Icy Manipulator plus on Sarah's Rings just wrecking me. This is what I meant, Matrix. I hate enchantments that single-handedly win the game, because like if I draw a removal spell for this, my opponent can never win. It just single-handedly wrecks them that they lose their enchantment, and if I don't find an answer, then I'm just sitting here doing nothing. I just hate these. I mean, the dub is fine, but the on Sarah's Rings is just pretty annoying that that exists as a card. Okay, so I go to 2, so 1 more draw step, where I think I have like 3 or 4 outs. I think like 2 ways of destroying their creature. Just straight up, and then like, no, I guess I have 4 outs, 2 ways of finding a red source. Mountain and the creature that searches for a basic. Oh my god. Disgusting. Yeah, that's so dumb. Okay, do I have a way of destroying enchantments or anything here? I don't think so. Because they seem to be going all in on their stuff. Like, they did that twice now. Oh, I do have the Invoke. Okay, so let's bring in Invoke. And so throwing my creature away was obviously terrible, but I didn't change anything in the end. Yeah, that was pretty frustrating. I think I would still want to be on the play, though being on the draw with this type of deck is not completely unreasonable. Okay, back to having unbeatables in hand. Well, my opponent has Icy Manipulator and Settle the Score. What the hell? 1 mana, 1/1. So I assume this is going to be carrying some enchantments pretty quickly, which is annoying. Three, 1, sure. Play the creature so that if they like -2/-2 my creature, I still get the 1/1 supporting out of the deal and can block their Knight of New Benalia. Ah, oh, god damn it. Getting this down makes it easier to stabilize my own life total if I can attack back. They're also on 2 lands, so that's not awful for me. But if they like draw their 3rd land and then play it up, I'm in a pretty tough position here. Okay, so they did have the -2/-2 that I played around with this Deathbloom Thalit over Davignon Trapper, or however you pronounce that. Okay, Planeswalkers and other creatures you control have hexproof. Is that better than just playing the Trapper? Yeah, definitely. Because if they play their +2/+2 enchantment on either of these two, I can still double block. Oh no, again, here I can single block and there I can double block. And I assume if they run this out turn 1, it's very likely they have an enchantment for it. Just the Pegasus, okay. First strike, Vigilant Lifelink. All the aura and equipment stuff doesn't really matter to me. So it's just like a slightly better Mesa Unicorn. Probably still better than the Trapper here though. Protecting Lyra with Shalai is also pretty nice. And also that pumps the Shalai by giving Angels +1/+1. Just mono synergistic legendaries. Red Colony, fair. Pretty annoying that my artworks no longer show up. I guess I will start Magic Online. Restart Magic Online pretty soon. Okay. Well, let's go for Hexproof Baneslayer Angel this time. Wait, Lifelink? Angels +1/+1 and Lifelink? I hadn't even... yeah. Okay. Hadn't read that part yet. Guess I'm attacking. I thought it gave +1/+1 to Angels. I skipped the Lifelink part. That makes my position even more dominating. Reading the card is difficult. And you can see that I take a while until I've read all the cards, even while I'm playing with them. Well, that is helpful for this in the long run, but my Lyra has Hexproof at the moment, and my opponent is still mana screwed, so keeping, like, using this every turn is still pretty expensive. Man, how good would Lifelink is, how good would First Strike as double strike be here? Holy moly! Like, this gets double strike, this gets double strike, this gets double strike. Not that I need any more help on this board. My opponent's just on like mono mediocre creatures and one icy manipulator, and I'm on mono unbeatable creatures, and they all have hexproof. Pretty fair. Yeah, they get to attack because I attack with all of my flyers. But they do need to jump block in the air pretty quickly. Well, I guess they can tap this down and then go to 2 and letting the Lyra through. Not a great deal though. And if I draw black stars, I get to play another legendary, and the legendary taps down one of their blockers. It's alright as well. Well, not yet. Yeah, they have to tap this down. Then if I attack with everything, then they have to block here pretty much and block all. No, not quite all of my creatures, but most of them. Okay, that seems pretty alright. Because I also go to 30 life, so... or 32, I guess. And they have to make some pretty uncomfortable blocks. This block is still pretty favorable. Red Colony on Deathbloom Thallid. And yeah, they do have to make another jump block and go to 4. And I go to 32 and still have a dominating board position. It seems alright. And I think the only board wipe that they could have requires a legendary creature, so it doesn't even work for them. And the other one, the black board wipe, takes like a turn to set up because it's a saga. So I don't see any way for my opponent out of this. There's a legendary, but it should be too slow. And 4 blockers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, they do survive here. It's not a great way to survive, because like all of these have first strikes, so there's not even any profitable blocks for my opponent. And I do think I have to attack with everything, because I need to make it so that they have to block with this. If this stays alive, then I could be in trouble. I mean, not in trouble, but they can cast the board wipe then if they have the board wipe in hand and top deck a land. Trading off the Supporting as well. Okay. Yeah, I still can't think of a board wipe that punishes me, so if I'm wrong, but there we go. Okay, I'll be right back. I think I'll restart Modo as well.